Hello, this is Tom, aka Jedion, here for Tabletop Tap Room and the TSR Court Reporter. And we're asking the question: did Dave Johnson just sink Justin Lanasa's boat and get him sued? Make him one of the sued dudes. Get that man a t shirt. I will call my printer and have them mail one to North Carolina. So we have a product with the potential defamation of character of one individual. Well, before I go too deeply into that, let me just say thank you for watching the video. Thanks to my subscribers. And I apologize to the judge for wearing a t-shirt in his courtroom, but the t-shirt seemed appropriate. And don't forget that like, subscribe, and bell icon. Help me build the channel. So, Justin just put out through Adamantite Games with his friend Dave Johnson, the avowed Nazi, but we turned up evidence where Justin said he was a Nazi, which kind of makes sense if he's supporting and publishing works by an avowed Nazi, Dave Johnson. So I guess, but those pesky orcs, which is what this is, it has a module in there. The rules are written by Justin Lanasa. The module is written by It's written by Dave Johnson with Justin Lanasa. Now, in this story, they include a little bit of history of the Orcs. And the part of the history of the Orcs is this story about Chieftain Tula Erev, which is actually, if you look at that, it's my last name backwards. So Chieftain Veralt. And because my last name backwards does not lend itself to being pronounced, we're going to go with Veralt. Because I think it was intended to draw attention to me. The following day, Chieftain Veralt, the Meek, apparently they're calling me Meek, made a shocking decision. He declared that all the orcs, that they would march against and fight against the humans no matter the cost, that they would defend their home with courage and strength. You know, we're not going to read the whole story. It's lame. It shows a lot of evidence of AI writing because neither one of these two people can really write that well. And a gasp of despair went up from the orc army as Veralt fell to the ground. Humans had landed a deadly blow. Apparently not that deadly, because if you watch what happens, but the orcs refused to accept it. Instead, they banded together and roared in defiance, and the chief slowly raised his hand. See, it wasn't that deadly. And made a grand declaration in the middle of a battle. A grand declaration is made. The idiocy there is just whatever. And he declared that from that day forward, all orcs must pluck out their left eye in solidarity with him, and everyone must bear the same scar, so no one can forget their courage and underestimate their strength. So in the middle of the battle, he has all the orcs plucking out. Hey, excuse me, humans, hold a minute, time out. We gotta pluck out our eye here. Stupid AI writing. And then a little bit further, you get the next battle was to be the final stand of the great Chief Veralt, and he swung his sword relentlessly. Let's get to the good part. Well, somewhere in here, the chief gets his hand cut off, and he falls to the ground. But then the orcs are woo, and then he stands up, and in the middle of the battle, wait, time out. Well, actually, time, because he only got one hand, so time. Or maybe like this, time, under the chin, maybe, I don't know. He makes a grand declaration, tells all the orcs to cut off their left hand to show their loyalty to him. And so, yeah, but it's actually not his final stand. See, because he lived. You say somebody's final stand when it's their final stand, and they die. Alamo, Final Stand, because why? They all died. you know, it's AI writing. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. Now, why am I being named in this product? Well, Dave Johnson really hates my guts. I mean, he recently renamed his YouTube page to mock me. He was using the name of a Korean girl, and he had a little logo of a Korean girl, and he was publishing stuff on YouTube under that login. But then he deleted everything, and then he just renamed it to my name in an effort to mock me. Whatever. Used AI generated art to supposedly be me. Whatever, dude. But now we get this. So Dave really does not like me because I've reported on his Nazism, his Nazi posts on Twitter. I've criticized the Star Frontiers New Genesis game that he wrote with Justin Lanasa. See, these two are like peas in a pod. And I've repeatedly reported on this stuff because it's just despicable. The anti-trans, the homophobic, the racial slurs, the racial stuff. It's just despicable. So naturally, I've reported on it because this stuff you need to warn people in gaming. Hey, careful. We got this garbage over here. We just don't need this in gaming. So he doesn't like me. So he's included me in his story. And, that brings up this little, let's do a share screen. It brings up this little issue here. All persons fictitious disclaimer. Let's read this. This is from Wikipedia. So, it's true because it's Wikipedia, right? Well, the history that they report here is certainly true. All persons fictitious disclaimer is a work of media that states that all persons portrayed in it are not based on real people. This is done mostly on realistic films and television programs, mostly, but not always, to reduce the possibility of legal action and for libel from anyone who believes they've been defamed in their portrayal in the work, whether portrayed under a real name or a different name. Oh, they spelled my name backwards. That doesn't cover them. By spelling my name backwards. Doesn't cover them. The wording of this disclaimer varies and it differs from jurisdiction to jurisdiction, as does its legal effectiveness. Just because you put it doesn't mean it's legally effective. Let's go down to its origins. The disclaimer came about as a result of litigation in 1932. Metro Golden Mayer, MGM, you've heard of them, did a film called Rasputin and the Empress, which insinuated that the character of Princess Natasha had been raped by the Russian mystic Rasputin. The character of Natasha was supposedly intended to represent the princess Iriana Alexandrovna of Russia, who sued MGM for libel. After seeing the film twice, the jury agreed that the princess had been defamed, and Iriana and her husband Felix Yusupov were reportedly awarded $127,000, which is the equivalent to $2,700,000 in today's dollars. In damages by an English court of appeal in 1934. And they were awarded $1 million, which would be $22 million in today's dollars, in an out-of-court settlement with MGM. As a preventative measure against further lawsuits, the film was taken out of distribution for decades. The film began with the claim that this concerns the destruction of an empire. A few of the characters are still alive, and the rest met with death and by violence, and in my case, mutilation. Reportedly, the judge in the case told MGM that not only was this claim damaging to their case, but their case would have been stronger if they had incorporated a directly opposite statement. The film was not intended as an accurate portrayal of real people or events. Promoted by an outcome of this case, many studios began to incorporate all persons fictitious disclaimer in their films to protect themselves from certain court action. Now, here's the thing, is just putting the disclaimer is actually not necessarily the final be all and end all of protecting yourself from defamation. However, Justin and his cohort Dave Johnson have failed to put such a disclaimer in their book, which means Dave Johnson, with his AI writing, and then let's just put Tom Veralt's name in there, has opened Justin for a case of being a sued dude, getting sued for defamation of character. We know Justin likes to be in court over defamation of character. He has famously and just fabulously failed in a lawsuit against Eric Stina for defamation of character in the New York courts. So, I mean, it's because that case is drawing to a close, about to be thrown out, about to just come down with the big old band hammer on him. Boom! You get to pay Eric. You know, he's, I guess, feeling left out and wants to be sued for defamation of character. You know, maybe he feels if he did the suing, that he actually got sued, maybe he would get better results. I don't know. Being sued, S-U-D-E, that we certainly have a good counterclaim in response. So it's either good if we get sued, or maybe we do have a case if we find the right ambulance chaser. My cousin certainly is not an ambulance chaser, but he is looking into it for us. So, good job, Dave. Because they just gave me the hand and eye of Vecna treatment. I don't know whether to be flattered or the fact that I'm being eviscerated and mutilated in fiction to be offended. I'm certainly concerned by the fact that it appears that Dave and Justin publicly saying in a work of fiction that they want to have me mutilated, my eye and hand chopped off. So we will continue to look into this. But again, good job, Dave, because you just opened up your buddy Justin for him to be sued, because I'm pretty sure Justin has more assets than you, and that's why we're going to make sure we name both of you. This is Tom for Tabletop Tap Room with the TSR Court Report. The buffoon show, the dumpster fire, rolls on. It rolls on, and they're just looking to have themselves sued. Except I know how to spell sue and sued. I don't spell it S-U-D-E because I don't really speak Lower Lanasian. So this is Tom for Tabletop Tap Room signing out. Thanks for watching the video. Thanks to my subscribers. You guys are great. Don't forget that like, subscribe, bell icon, and keep on gaming, just not with those pesky orcs.
Why is the green screen on? Sorry, I didn't know. Oh, were you videoing just now? I didn't know you were.
3, 2, 1, go. A sued dude being sued. Don't say it. We're going to cut that part out. 3, 2, 1.